Honourable members, Deputy Speaker.
Honourable members, we do not have quorum. I therefore suspend Parliament to the further reading of the bill.
honourable members. The honourable member for Talasia will say prayers this morning.
Let's come before the Lord in prayer. Heavenly Father, gracious, loving God of wisdom and justice, we lift up our members of the 11th National Parliament as we gather here this morning. Grant our hearts open to truth, minds clear of dissent, and courage to act for common good of Papua New Guinea. May the Holy Spirit guide the decisions, discussions, and debates, and decisions so that they may save the poor, protect the vulnerable, and promote peace, unity, and integrity in our nation. Bless the Speaker of the National Parliament, the Prime Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, and the opposition leader, and all members of our Parliament to govern with honesty, humility, and respect. We invited you, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit to be in the midst of our session today. Let us say the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. The power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
All honourable members, you may like look savel or presence belong all Sumatin or staff lo public gallery, all Sumatin lo grade 5 na 6, one time all teacher belong all, lo Yesu Baibua Community School inside lo Kairaku District, Central Province. Na you may got 2 all grade 7 Sumatin, now teacher belong Hohola Demonstration Primary School, lo National Capital District. So, lo behalf lo Parliament, may extend him welcome lo yublal kita. Not petitions, notices. Ask him minogat talk sabe pobla 10 minutes. Honorable member lo sina yangable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mipla lo opposition display morning. Mipla like ask him sambla more question nigolo. Prime Minister lo sampla clarity lo decision NEC walk him lo this like additional 4.22% equity lo Croton. Number one question emolsem inside lo UBSA agreement lo clause 6 price lo this like additional equity 4.2% or fixing pennies price US 240 million kina per 1%. So lo disla 4.22 price blend by go close to or go abrusim $1 billion US dollars. Slightly abrusim. But round him go US $1 billion dollars. Price is up inside, but NEC decision talk almost negotiate lo price can. So question also. Why na price ya agreed pinis? All get stakeholders all sign off pinis. Up na display cabinet decide law rejecting display contractual agreement price agreed price of 240 million US dollars per 1%. Number one question, so I need to clarify this. Number two question, Emi Golsem. All creating one plus special purpose vehicle lo managing this 4.22% equity law benefit law. Online dream law outline. Online dream law outline. Now, this law SPV, all like him, all politicians manage him. This plan. And one plan concern. This law involving big plan money. Me play got big plan concern. And money blow people blow place. You may need to take care. Time you may mark him all man blow place. Now put him assets blow lo handle people lo manage him. You may politician you may no got sawe lo investment lo big plan money. Big plan investments. Now how to read him all financial statements. All this is something all sawe man or school or this lap na got experience all sawe. So why not create him special purpose vessel, which might be itself okay, but put him all man by go pass, put him all politician he go inside. He got all money, got investment analyst, investment managers, all this line, all this stuff. Why not find him all this line now, put him all, control him display investment, all people block place, rural areas. You may mark him all. Why not you may put him risk, he come inside this addition to all politicians by all manage him this law. Look out him. And question number 2. Question number 3, I'm also. Nami like him, Minister Blo, Securities Commission, Honorable Richard Maru. I think Securities Commission is happening it law, Honorable Richard Maru. Me like him take note law this law too. And in it law portfolio blame also license him all investment managers law, manage him all securities such as this like kind of shareholding, involving big plan money. Now Securities Commissions are glass him good through, now pick him all man, he got good plan experience, good plan qualification, he got good plus how to manage him all investments. Now all this I give him license. So all this like kind people all this stuff. All call him all investment managers. Now all him license law Securities Commission. Why not this plus government do the responsible thing? Now put him display investment, he go law unblow all properly licensed investment managers. Why not make him all same? Why not take the risk with politicians? You mean got one good track record for managing nothing, zero. Also, now me got big black concern because money blow businessman or sawe man or all online stuff lo urban centers. This is like money blow line lo rural areas, online blow outline straight. We owe them a bigger fiduciary duty when we make decisions affecting their money, their investment. So I think Prime Minister need to give us assurance, confidence that decision is headed in the right direction. Suppose Nogat, all need to revisit him, now reformulate him this decision so that you may strong him this investment law benefit blood place line. Thank you.
Honorable Prime Minister.
All right, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me like to thank you long, member long Sine. Young Moklo ask him 3 important question. I'll try my best to keep it short in the interest of others to respond to other questions or ask other questions. The 4.27% to be carved out from Kumul Petroleum share in PNG LNG was a decision that preceded even before Kumul Petroleum itself was established. In 2009, this parcel of shares was earmarked to be given to not just politicians, or not politicians, but to the 5 provincial governments that is headed by the 5 governors of these provinces, and to the landowners from PDLs, landowners from pipeline, and landowners from the plant site. And so this decision was a decision created by government policy in 2009. And so it is not an entitlement by law, but a government policy decision that was embedded in the UBSA agreement signed at Kokopo. Mr. Speaker, 2014, the then government never gave the landowners and the 5 provinces an opportunity to exercise their right of purchase. No right whatsoever was given to them. And we've now lived on 11 years. And 11 years from 2014, the PNG LNG is debt-free. 11 years from 2014 first gas, Kumul Petroleum have subsumed the 4.27% value and total funding that has now gone to Kumul Petroleum Limited has gone over 12 billion kina. From 2014 to 2026 at present, or last year, ending the financial year that ended last year, the project, PNG LNG all in all, retired 70% of the cost of the project that was bank financed by over 20 global financial consortium that financed the project. The $240 million per share price tagged for 1% of share that would cost the landowners and provincial government to acquire that 4.27% included that 70% bank financed element. So if you deduct that 70% off from that 400, I beg your pardon, $240 one share, you do your calculation, landowners and the 5 provincial government would have paid 30% of the $240 million. So those calculations, an opportunity would have been given to them at 2014. On record, the 2 governments that has presided since 2014 to 2026 have not given them the opportunity to exercise that right. And so we're doing what is rightful. This 4.27% was secured as a project security policy by the National Alliance-led government in 2009. And so that decision was taken. It is in calculation of value of time loss. It's $1 billion worth of purchase the landowners would have exercised with the 5 provincial government. No opportunity was given to them to raise funds to purchase that 4.27%.
We have a point of order. Honorable Member Sina.
Yeah, I would like to remind the Prime Minister that in the very cabinet decision I'm talking about, there were 2 previous NEC decisions that dealt with the issue of the exercise of that option by the beneficiary group, which was never implemented. But the decision, 2 decisions were taken, and those 2 decisions were repealed in the decision, any current NEC decision which I'm talking about. So it's not as if no opportunity was given. It was given by 2 NEC decisions, not exercised.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, the 2 NEC decisions my Leonard, member for Sinisini Yongumuk, is referencing was not explicitly labeled that landowners exercise your right at the date they were to have exercised a right in 2014. I just wish the member for Sinisini Yongumuk, then as Justice Minister, would have advised the Prime Minister then that this due date has arrived. Let's advise the 5 provinces and the landowners to exercise their right.
Honorable Member for Yalubu Pangia, what's your point of order?
Point of order is that, Prime Minister is continuously misleading Parliament on this particular subject, as he does with many other issues, sidestepping and debating. Now, Mr. Speaker, he knows, and I know, and even the learned member for Sinisina knows, and most other senior members of Parliament know, in the UBS agreement, it specifically states it wasn't just signed and given by the state. It was agreed by all parties, landowners and provincial governments, agreed by all parties that they will pay, I think, US 240 million kina per share, pay a 1% share. Now, in 2014, with which he was part of the cabinet, we made a decision realizing that the landowners and the provincial governments could not afford it. We discounted to 150 million US dollars per share. We discounted. Yes, I'm trying to give you a background so you understand that your prime minister is misleading you. Now, Mr. Speaker,
Order, honorable,
Mr. Speaker,
honorable member for Yalabu Pangia.
this is an important issue, Mr.
Honorable
Speaker.
member for Yalabu
You have the
Pangia.
duty to let the nation know the truth.
Honorable member for Yalabu Pangia, what is your point of order? You're already
my
going
point
into
of order
debating.
is that opportunity.
You will have a grievance debate later after question time, so you can raise it as your
the
grievance.
opportunity, Mr. Speaker, if you allow me to finish, we'll get over this very quickly. The opportunity to exercise that right was open since 2009. Always there. Nobody was stopped from going to raise 240 million US dollars or discounted 150 million US dollars, pay a 1% share to buy. He knows that, I know that, everybody knows that. Now today he's going to tell the people of this country what is the decision of NEC. Is he free gifting these 5 provinces and the landowners at the expense of the entire nation? That was not the intention of the Somali government or our governments, Mr. Speaker. That is the truth, and you need to tell the truth.
Honorable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I wish he had the same zeal and energy for the landowners in 2014. He never, until he was reminded, a cabinet decision he presided over discounted 600 million kina. 600 million kina off. And that's one of the cabinet decisions that a good member for Sina Yongumuk is making reference to. But on record, since 2014, when the due date arrived, that government never gave an opportunity to the landowners to exercise their right. Whether they can afford or not is another matter, an opportunity. Central Province, Gulf Province, Hela Province, Southern Highlands Province, Western Province, the provincial governors are already present in subsidiary companies like Kutubu Petrol and Resource Authority, Gobe Petrol and Resource, Moran Petrol and Resource. The provincial governors are already there by virtue of the fact that they are there as important stakeholders representing the province to collect revenue also for the province, as well as the landowners represent themselves to collect for the landowners. That's why provincial governors sit in those companies to make decisions for the rest of the province. Mr. Speaker, the landowners and the 5 provinces were not given a right, an opportunity to exercise their right to engage in the purchase of these shares in 2014. We saw in 2014 decide to mortgage that asset for the oil share purchase that the former Prime Minister very much know about, the transaction between UBS and oil sets. That parcel of share was used in the entire Kumul petroleum asset for that transaction, and no opportunity was given to the 5 provinces and the landowners to exercise their right. Now, 2025 or 2026, the entire 16.57%, including the 4.27%, has been used by Kumul Petroleum up till this date, totaling over 12 billion kina already received by Kumul Petroleum, and the member for Yalu Pangi has asked for a full report to be tabled. We will be tabling full report to this House for this House to understand what has happened in the total earnings from Kumul Petroleum to date. Mr. Speaker, rest of money you make kisimpinis, country kisimpinis. What's wrong, lo talk, thank you, bianim talk lo Papa Sumare. You apply signing project, na Laram FID come up, the 5 provinces represented by the governors, and the landowner representative sitting, and I want to give assurance to the Honorable Member for Hiri Koeri. Your people is featured in this agreement. It is an interim structure. The SPV is an interim structure. Look at that cabinet decision, it says interim structure until the 5 provincial governors and the landowners themselves sit and decide what to do with it. If you understand the word English, I'm not an English student, but
Honourable Member for Hearing Choir, what's your point of order?
Speaker, the Prime Minister makes reference to the people of Hirikwayo, Central Province, and the landowners being part of the decision. They are. I'm not saying they are not. I'm saying that 2 years period and could come back on every 4 years is not equitable, not fair. That's what the point was. Not about they are not participating. 4.27%, 13.5% of 4.27% equates to about 550 million kina worth of interest in that asset. That is a significant amount of investment or entitlement by contract under the UBSA agreement, 6.32. And it's laid out there, Mr. Speaker. So let's not belittle the issue. The people of, and while on this point, the people of Hirikwayo, the plant-side landowners, never gave consent for their interest to be dealt with in the manner that it has been under in the NEC decision. No consultation was taken at all.
Honourable Prime Minister.
are you ruling, Speaker, with greatest respect, are you ruling the point of order in order or out of order, please?
No, you don't force the Speaker to rule whether it's in order. Or... Prime Minister, you go ahead and answer him. Question by you.
All right, Mr. Speaker, I want to, maybe in the interest of time, and to the beneficiaries, the five provincial governments and the landowners in the 5 provinces. This is an interim special purpose vehicle. You yourselves will decide. We will facilitate what you want to do with this one. You want us, from government policy, we want it to be a perpetual wealth for the 5 provinces together, structured in a manner in which the fiduciary standard is required of such public companies be established, run properly, and wealth generate perpetually in a sovereign wealth fund sustainable manner sort of setup and structure that we want to deliver for the 5 provinces and the 60,000 landowners that is covered under the PNG, LNG project areas. So it's meant well. I want to ask the 5 provinces, it doesn't hurt for the 5 governors to sit together, look into this cabinet decision for and on behalf of our people, and advise government again what you want to do. As simple as that. It's about time we distance this asset from PNG, LNG. It is meant for the 5 provinces and the landowners there, Central landowners, Gulf pipeline landowners, Southern Islands pipeline landowners, Hela pipeline landowners, Western province, and of course the 5 provinces. So it is an interim arrangement, SPV set up, and eventually it must be detached from Kumul, going to a company. And that company runs and earns the money and runs it for and on behalf of the trustee and the beneficiaries of those trustees concerned. So, Mr. Speaker, I know the member has intended well in asking me this question. I will get the questions properly answered in a written reply to him for him to fully understand the discussions that we're making here, the reply I'm making. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
No, but you know what point of order, I'm the same sit down with this, so the point of order. I will now, the chair will recognize the governor for Western.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I recognize him. Neck, sun go down. Thank you, through Western Blomium. By me directing go Minister of Mining. Na Western Blomium in relations lo on the special mine dom lo PNG Pogera gold mine. First of all, me like talk big thank you lo Maraveroso Gaban lo for the first time look sawe lo people lo Western Province na all Nalbla riverine river communities were sharing have also put him tailings go down them, especially all brothers lo yim hela na sundown. So this is a question and by me asking on behalf of the people of Hela, Southern, Sundown na Western, where I'm to come down them. So first of all, me like talk big thank you lo government and for the first time look sawe lo people lo Hela Sundown na Western Province inside of la Nibla CDA agreement lo Pogera. However, question lo me like ask him because me looking for him this la NEC working on that decision lo give him this la look sawe lo me play me no fair to much lo look lo me. Now people lo me will sleep lo Flariva camp finish lo Strickland na you go on top because you me okada sawe emosem pogera sleep on top lo mountain lo you on top lo Enga province. Only my name na only no got on the tailing facility where only put in PPA blood. Tailing facility only no put him na. I got a PPA put the water. I'm sa biani water come down. On top of the mountain because the slope is it's slopey. Water am run off na come down, but the Nambis by Yumi, the Western Province, lowland na high water table so. Time PPM come down, I'm just sleep that's all. So I was go Western Province, so some time by looking myself. Heavy you yet by look sawe. But me saw plenty got question ask him to so enough but me take him time, but me by ask him. I think 4 question of minister, na think prime minister, na minister of treasury, na minister of environment can take note. First of all, me like ask him, Minister. Minister, you got national government got plan law, working environmental monitoring, rehabilitation law, environmental impact law. Pogera mine or no got. Number 2, Pogera mine you got plan law, put him tailing facility on top law, Sambla law, mountain law. Enga province or Sambla or Sandown or Western Province law. Mitigate him environmental tailings law. Along the river or Nogat. Because la luluk lo mi atin Papua New Guinea mi one black country inside the well where indiscriminately dumping waste go inside the water. One kind of law octary too. That's all octary another current agreement. You mi got plan law building tailing facility law. Sambla or Ningrum. Osena mila ask him, suppose Pogera mine got one kind of too or no got. Number 3, suppose you don't know got plan, how by you compensate him, all people sleep, this la water system inside law. Hela province, Sundown, na Western Province. Suppose you got plan, me like recommend him or say, you be him. Presidents where you got inside the Western Province where Octary and look at him. All people blame the Western Province. Why me talk of them? Because you look the decision by you yet, you give him this la riverine community, you give him 1% equity of mine. Just to give an example, suppose Pogera Mining declare him 400 million kina profit this year. You can calculate 1% will equate to 4 million kina. And from that 4 million kina by the triple province, Blabla scale in the Western Province is given 0.18%. You calculate in this law, and you give him Western Province 720,000. Compared that to Octary, I'm compensating people blame lo arelo water or sleep blame. Every year, I give him 80 million. So, me looking at this line injustice to fully compensate the people that you allowed them tailings to run through. So, me like ask him, suppose national government he got Tintin law up him, look Saweb law, or community sleep law, children water go finish law, mouse law, fly river from Hela, Sundown to Western Province. Thank you through and question Lomi.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. First of all, Milatok, thank you, Law. On the important question where Governor Blow, Western, you ask him, it's a very important issues and also the legacy issues where government need to look them, address him, you ask him, so but me ask him, Law, can write him this question, and me give him Lomi, and then during the course of this session, me can
present in this blah or question blame or respond to this blah questions blame. Thank you.
You got one plus supplementary. Honorable member from North Fly.
Supplementary blomi in support lo Governor blomi blo Western. Very simple supplementary question. Would the minister care to do an undertaking to include what we call social licensing? Because Olman Impact Law Riverline must have a social licensing where Emi give him prominence na weight long only can sign up, lo give him bail easy. I say that because from the Octedis case, we have a very clear precedent set by Octedi, and it's a higher standard in any mining. Those impacted by the mine along the river line, they are given a social licensing. So similar should apply. So may I ask the minister, would he do an undertaking to include that as part of his package towards recognizing the riverline community? Thank you.
Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Chair. Also, leader blow not fly asking one blow very important question as well. So, bami puti wanta me can ask him law. Right come na me puti wanta na me respond. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, my question without notice goes to the Honourable Prime Minister. It's with respect to the Constitution, Mama Loblo, Papua New Guinea. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, the House isn't fully represented by all the members because of death, because of election petitions. My question, Mr. Speaker, is Section 106 of the Constitution requires there to be an immediate by-election where there is a vacancy. And we have until August 2026 to confirm whether there will be a by-election for some of the seats that are vacant because of unfortunate passings of members of parliament and election petition outcomes. This relates to the provincial seat for Moresby, the seat for Telefomin, the seat for Kagwa Erave, and some others. So the question, Mr. Speaker, to the Prime Minister is, Mamalo and stop, Nayumi stop. So will he give an undertaking to the Honourable House and the people of Papua New Guinea that there will be immediate by-elections for these electorates that have vacancies to comply with the Constitution? Now, Mr. Speaker, you may all get to come inside the House because Section 50 of the Constitution, I'm giving talk right, and you mix a mandate, the people blame me. Mr. Speaker, you sit down, the big plus blue or some probably this Hausman because of Section 107 of the Constitution. Can the Prime Minister confirm that we will be complying with Section 106 of the Constitution with the vacancies in these seats? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, I want to appreciate the question by the opposition leader. The calling of elections is an electoral commission matter. So we'll get the electoral commission to provide an update, and I will respond to this question on Tuesday or Wednesday next week. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Member Blorbal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a simple question below me without notice. Below Minister for State-Owned Enterprises to answer. Because that law question, and this is concerning geothermal power resources. Rabaul district is that paid long geothermal power station long sample Christmas we go finish. I think it must lose him 30 years finish. Suppose you go to PNG power headquarters office plenty passes stop. No got something only working. I remember when the current governor for New Island province, when he was mining minister, mimpi nasikim dasala question lo geothermal power station to Rabaul district. Kami kirap na itokolo sem inongat power policy. geothermal power policy belong Rabaul belong the sela country. First question, Bolomita Solosem, Minister, will you take steps to ensure that a final geothermal resource development policy is approved by government? Number two, suppose if you are willing to take steps, you think when will you begin to take steps to present to Cabinet this final geothermal resource development policy for the country of Papua New Guinea? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank the good member for Rabaul for asking this very important question. It is in fact a long overdue matter, and I want to thank him and commend him for asking this question. Mr. Speaker, to begin with, in the olden days, PNG Power was responsible for providing power as well as providing regulations and policies for the business of power production in this country. Now that PNG Power has been corporatized, the matters of regulatory issues are now governed by the newly established Energy Authority. And the Energy Authority is now responsible for developing policies in relation to the extraction of resources like geothermal power. But nevertheless, even in the absence of a policy, there is no one stopping anyone who's interested in extracting that valuable resource, converting it into power, and then supplying it to the towns of Rabaul or the rest of Eastern New Britain province. So all it needs is an investor who has the resources, who has the know-how to be able to make feasibility studies, and if the power that is generated from that source is commercially enough, then it can simply enter into a power purchase agreement with PNG Power where it can supply power to those towns and the rest of our West Eastern New Britain province at an agreed rate, and the geothermal energy can be harvested and converted to energy for our power. So PNG Power is ready to work with our good member for Rabaul, and any investor who is interested in investing the money to harvest that resource, enter into a power purchase agreement, sell it to PNG Power. PNG Power will then use that resource to supply power to our people of Eastern New Britain province. That is even in the absence of a policy. So whether the policy is drafted earlier or later, it does not matter in my opinion. That is a resource that can be harvested anytime. So PNG Power stands ready to work with our good member for Rabaul to be able to harvest that very valuable resource. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honourable Governor for Madang.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question without notice goes to the Minister for Health and HIV. I'd like the Minister for Higher Education, Research, Science and Technology and the Prime Minister to take note. Mr. Speaker, my question regards Morilon General Hospital in Madang. Firstly, I'd like to thank the Health Minister for a tremendous job so far. He sort of took office and hit the ground running, but unfortunately he hasn't arrived in Madang yet. So let me put him up to speed with the significance of Morilon General Hospital and how the hospital is doing. So, Mr. Speaker, by way of background, Morilon General Hospital was established in 1963. The only major rehabilitation was done in 1994 through the assistance of the Japanese government, and at this juncture, I'd like to thank the Japanese government and the people of Japan for the continued support and assistance to the people of Madang in this country. Mr. Speaker, due to negligence by past administration and management of the hospital, the main hospital facility building has deteriorated to an extent where it is now condemned and undergoing maintenance. Because of that, most of my sick patients from Madang have been turned away to seek medical assistance elsewhere. That includes private clinics and pharmacies in town, which we all know that it's costly. So, Mr. Speaker, a couple of weeks ago, I've witnessed 66 students from the Lutheran University of Papua New Guinea School of Nursing graduated after being trained from this hospital. Also, Mr. Speaker, about a month ago, a good minister for higher education has also witnessed about 196 medical students from the University of Divine Word School of Medicine and Health Science graduated. And Mr. Speaker, the sad fact is this: those students come from all over the country to attend schools in Medeng, these two universities in Medeng, and they've been trained under or in that rundown and partially closed hospital facility of Morilon General Hospital. Mr. Speaker, I would like us to take special note of the significance of Morilon General Hospital in the country. Mr. Speaker, Morilon General Hospital is the only hospital outside of Port Moresby and is the only hospital apart from Port Moresby General Hospital that does not only provide medical health care services to the people of Medeng, but also trains medical students and medical doctors that go out throughout this country to save the lives of the very people who have sent us to this house. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, there has been a significant oversight by successive governments, including this government, on the importance of Morilon General Hospital, Mr. Speaker.
Madam, ask a question or you are debating?
Mr. Speaker,
or you,
I'm just arriving to the question. If you can give me a minute.
We have grievance debate after this question time. So you can have an opportunity to air your grievances. But right now, I would ask you to ask your question to the minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. All people blooming Simbarap, no day to LK services, like a 3 way, Gaman, Cloranim. So, me got 1 minute, that's all. Now, me ask him question now. So, you ask him, so me ask him now. Mr. Speaker, question, let me come to you now. Mr. Speaker, my question is that does the government have any plans to maintain and rehabilitate Morilon General Hospital in Medeng so that it can produce a conducive environment, not only to treat the sick patients, but also train the medical students that are attending the 2 universities in Medeng province? Is there any plan? That's my first question. Second question is this, Mr. Speaker. If there is a plan, then how soon can the government implement that plan? And thirdly, Mr. Speaker, if there is no plan at all, can the government, let me ask him now, elevate the status of Morilon General Hospital to a level 6 provincial referral and teaching hospital, so that it does not only provide healthcare services to my people of Medeng, but also provide conducive environment for training for the students attending the 2 universities, the Divine Word University and the Lutheran University of Papua New Guinea. Mr. Speaker, you ask him so, me ask him also, let me lose him also to you. Thank you.
Honorable Minister of Health.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to thank the good Governor for Medeng for these very, very important questions. Firstly, Medeng PHA is a very, very important, I mean, as all the other PHAs in the country. Medeng Morilon Hospital serves or provides training for the students at Divine Word University, HEO training there, nurses there doing training as well.
We fully know of their need to improve that particular facility. Firstly, Mereng or PHA was appropriated at 15 million kina in 2023 to improve infrastructure there. According to the reports, that funding still remains at the department through the HSW funds. That funding has never been used to date. So that's a serious concern to us, and we need to work with the department is working closely with PHA Mereng to make sure that they do the necessary infrastructure improvement at Morilon Hospital. Secondly, Mereng PHA received up to 83 million kina lo this year budget, 83 million kina long PHA lo Mereng tasalo this year, and plenty money through. Lo Tesla 45 million kina, igolo personal monuments. There's a 10 million kina funding to all the PHs in the country every year, to improve infrastructure block, PIP funds, 10 million kina. Total money go all PHs this year, 1.5 billion kina, low PHs that's all. And there's a record of funding going to all the PHs. We are fully monitoring that. We established a PMU, or Project Monitoring Unit at the department, to see that this funding is not only on the budget, but make sure it's fully utilized and appropriate properly to be used for the right purposes. Many PHs are not utilizing these funds properly. I've visited many of the provinces, seeing the hospitals, planted long all you work low, all you know money good. The reflection of the PHs, reflect also only no looking at money, but report there's funding going to all the PHs every year. There's an increased level of funding going to all the PHs. For Mereng, 83 million kina go all this layer. And management, the board, make sure also almost using good money. Now, improving facilities, Sigman can stop inside Lohab. That's for Mereng. So there's a lot of funding going through Mereng. The governor, good governor, Dr. Bloyu. Yes, you will look Savilo need Mereng because they providing medicinal training facility as PMG at Moresby Hospital. Now, funding will go beyond this need. It's up to the PHA board and the team at the Moresby Hospital to make sure that they use the funding available to them to improve infrastructure. So, yes, because we have a national health plan, naming all standards, Mereng serves at the level 5 hospital. At level 6, Papua New Guinea, that's Port Moresby, PMCH, and serves at the National Referral Hospital. There is no need to have another level 6 again, and by confusing standards. At the moment, they have level 6 and PMCH, but all the others are level 5 and level 5 provincial hospitals. But so the funding is going through. We are monitoring those funding and making sure that they deliver based on the funding that they're getting. So all important points, Blumi. We are improving, we have a plan for volume long Usiripundi district. Volume will be upgraded to level 4. One Blausik Blumi long Raikos 2 by level 4. These are under the IDB projects at the moment so that they relieve the pressure that's coming to Morilon Hospital. So some of these arrangements are being made. While on this note, I'd like to acknowledge Kerema, Gulf Province. I was there Monday this week. Kerema, also Mrs. Toksavetasol, Plantiline only imito also Kerema Pagarabna. Also a current pleasant Kamna from Kerema Kam, all mama. After delivery, they have to bring in all this waste from Kerema all the way to Port Moresby. For the first time after 50 years, they now have a fully functioning incinerator for the first time. So I acknowledge him, Chairman Bloyimilong, Kerema or Gulf PHA want them board, and CEO Loa Kainolsem. You see this money and make it work. They build a rundown operating theater that was not functioning for many years. Only fixing mortuary for the first time. They have now a 12 compartment unit. Only more carry more body color, but must be anymore. Funding you go, using money and making good something. So talk no got money. Government Bloyimilong will give you money. So that's our responsibility. We commit funding because we got health plan and stuff. It's up to the provinces, the PHs to make sure that the funding is fully utilized so that all money can, all marry man, all patients, using good all services. People, I see a lot of complaints coming out from Moresby PHA. Moresby PHA looks 100 million kina, this is a budget. 100 million kina, just imagine that. Plus 30 million infrastructure. There's a lot of funding going. So just Mrs. Meki mentioned also if I have to go through all this list, 1.5 billion kina to all the PHAs, 800 million kina long PIP infrastructure, all the PHAs, there's a lot of funds. Government committing over 800 million kina to make sure that we have 10,000 additional workforce this year.
low health workforce. So also Mrs. Making mentioned also long question lo governor lo meeting. Government is fully committed. We know actually what's happening there. We are committing funds and we are working closely with meeting PNG to see that these funds are fully utilized properly. Thank you.
All honorable members, one for 5 minutes long. Asking me no talk sabe, gam lo hare no sem. You may now bagalo grievance, but before you make a grievance, honorable members, all the grievance debate, time you go finish long you must talk, note him. But plenty point all members of parliament is a regime. Emi got meaning long. Now who said by take note lo this land, I make him walk come up lo this way. So Sena, Prime Minister, plan the all department all head lo time lo parliament, me salugi molon sa kam. And walk long all lo take him note lo this fla. Now all ministers was all department all head in no come. Please. You mean not gonna waste him time lo grievance debate, they go sleep nothing. You must cut good play come up lo grievance debate. Also na grievance debate now I open. Governor lo civic. Me give you the set time lo out in bell heavy blue.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me before long me out in Liglig Belevi me like ask him all some question. That's all no got time. So thank you, lo you look sabe long people belong in civic. Before long me walk him Liglig grievance belong me like just help him help Minister Liglig na. Me like give him invitation long all narplo all governors. Suppose you play got heavy long how PHA blue play work. Me like invite him you play long he come na. One play governor he been come penis na come visit him me play one them online belong him. Lo kisim sambla stia long ECPIC PHA. Me play long ECPIC me play building penis one play level 5 hospital. Me play building 2 one play district housing cost him me play 34 million. Me play building 2 one play polyclinic and me cost him 4 million. Na me play building narpla polyclinic ken long Tarawai Island M2 by cost him around 4 million. Now, well, Banky look sabe long good work long PHA, ananit long leadership long Pastor Max Manimbi, na CEO Matthew Kalubia. Na only by giving some more money, long mibla by building narpla 10 polyclinic round him, ECBIC province. Mila again encourage him yubla also. Suppose you got good governance inside long display all kind all entity also PHA, plenty good work come up by come. This year too, mibla ready na contract go out finish. It take me 1 year, lo kisim approval, lo clearance long state solicitor, so that me can give him contract, lo build him house, lo doctor. But me amamas lo talk also, me by work him groundbreaking long, build him all house where money come long health department, health minister me talk straight. He say got good look sabe lo all get a PHA where all is I give him money. So thank you, health minister. But please, something blow line him, you know you me all get a sabe all get a something. Me got 13 years lo work one time PHA na. Also, na me play got good work come up stop long is civic. So me like encourage him you blow governor no can suit him talk lol PHA. You play welcome lo come na look him how. Or legally line lo civic he work him na two civic he train him tupla leaders where now tupla gonna run him tupla narpla PHA around the country. So me like commend him PHA belong civic lol good work belong him. Grievance belong me Mr. Speaker. Me been like asking him all some question. Me putting me along Prime Minister also head belong National Executive Council. Mr. Speaker, in 1997, almost 30 years ago now, one big bureau I been come up along Papua New Guinea, and I been come up all got a half world, only call him also El Nino. Me sample I been involved long working relief work lo this time. Me been halibim me started one time work Teddy company na. Telephone no sap me ni been fire lo display time big blood dry season come up misa some highlands to inogat kai na Australian government been giving big blood halibim long all balus long suru kim kai gontab long supporting all people blow me plan tab lo highlands now all scientists blow world na all scientists blow me to lo here lo Papua New Guinea long meteorological society blow you me only talk all same one pla next El Nino emi ready now and by start by come up lo next moon. Na by Ronnie go big heavy by me bungim around September, October. Na by finish probably lo March next year. Big bagarap by come up inside lo country blue me. Now Online ibin start lo 1997 oli sabe boli sa olsem Indonesia ibin fire lo des time ol forest belong Indonesia. Na sumuk na esis belong Indonesia ibin kampundaun lo Papua New Guinea. Big la bagrab strait. Des time 60% belong rural Papua New Guinea kisim heavy. Olgat island belong mi kisim heavy, Mr. Speaker. Now all scientists all sabe man belong mi oli tokol sem narablakeni kam by west than 1997. Mr. Speaker, these are 30-year cyclical events that happen around the globe. So our learned people are telling us, warning us, that we should get ready. Now I appreciate that the government has committed a lot of money to the man-made fuel crisis that is affecting our country. And we all appreciate the assistance the government is giving. And also in light of the fact that we have elections next year, which is going to require significant funding, as I have already alluded to earlier. But more than that, Mr. Speaker, if this El Nino is going to be worse than the last one, then we would have to assume that up to 60% of our rural population, perhaps more, will be affected. So I would like to ask the government to put together a bipartisan committee, if we can, to look at getting prepared for this event. I would also like to ask the government to consider organizations like NARI. I was fortunate to visit NARI with the Minister for Dehurst recently, and I was happy to note that NARI is working on a lot of drought-resistant crops. But, Mr. Speaker, these crops will need to be planted next month and distributed widely, particularly sweet potato, cassava, and there are some other legume crops that NARI has been breeding for some time. Now, we would have to deploy that fairly quickly, because if we don't, our government is going to be stuck with a very large food bill. Nalugolsem 1997, we might be asking the Australian government for help again. But the fact is that we need to start getting prepared as a country. And mibla olgara along South Pacific by kisim desla heavy, na Papua New Guinea by non long abrus. On top of that, Mr. Speaker, following very large, significant El Nino events, nature emsa comeback na bekim want them what they call a La Nina event. The La Nina is usually a very heavy wet season that follows the significant dry season. When the La Nina comes, and by bagarabi molrot plomibla, by got plenty landslips because ground emi dry stop na where I come na I go inside. So, Mr. Speaker, the science is well documented. I am simply echoing what some of our learned scientists are already aware of. And I know it's been mentioned in the paper, but I'd like to say that as a country, we need to get prepared. And hence, I am using this opportunity to place the government on notice and to request the Prime Minister and his front bench to start taking a serious look, because this event is going to begin next month. The Pacific Ocean is currently heating up. That's already confirmed by scientists in Hawaii who are monitoring this. And so, we are already going to see impact of it in our part of the world. Ino gudla lo yumi I pass nothing na go na pundown. Ino also heavy we America na Israel kamabim long. Lo Iran we cause him a fuel problem. This is nature, and nature is giving us an indication that it's coming. And it would be wise for us to take note, Mr. Speaker, and it would be wise for us to get ready for it when it does occur. That's my grievance, and I thank you. Grievance debate for today, and I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Governor Ablong Enga.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me to join him. All other leaders, lo total long grievance blame me. Lo one electorate, and me like taking this opportunity. Firstly, long talk. Thank you, long Marabe Rosso government. Long looks away long efforts blame me. Lo province belong. Province Blumila Henga province in terms of loan holder. Me looks available of plenty resource national government. Work long spending, long maintaining peace long province. Now me got big Hamamas long government blame me. Long finally after many years, me work long total this parliament. Long involving 1 plus trillion. Also PPC. Long Enga province. And now in the early days, that's all me can talk in this parliament. Now two country also this looks away from government.
lo Salim, 1+ Australian officer, he come lo province below me, he walk lo Karib Kaikai. And me saw him also. Suppose you got right man, right experience, the man he neutral, and he can come up and change long police force. Police force is so important. Agency of government. All got another agency, I'm good also all the two important. That's all. Suppose he gives him police right, plenty something in the country by go straight. So me gives him this opportunity. Thank you after so many years, Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister, for your support, and especially former Minister, long the Honourable Peter Simile, long pursue this agenda below me. Me believe most, suppose me in a harem talk below me, sample 10 years ago, finish. And more got a problem, you will face me, law and order, corruption. You know, not come up. So me was thanking Prime Minister, me like talk on government or some national, the Australian government rule on this arrangement. He agreed on give him Narbla 3 officer. Lo album me lo building capacity below police. Lo province below me like him. Me lo side below me, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister Secondary. Lo ensure some display 3 officer back home. Na make him come up on the role model. And one tough province na two is all man below me. Et belong all Paul staff so. And good blood lo carry him all this kind line he come. Now improving police force. You can work him on another all activity, but if we don't sort out the police issue, make him effective, and by me approach him, well improve him this country. So whilst I've had the benefit of having this Australian officer, Mr. Steve Harris, for the last couple of months, me start looking kage blong emna. Me like comment him government. Na me like ask him government to continue long. This triple man must come quick. And behind him on the thing me got long in. How long manage him low now for the long term. You know now so. And by sustaining management belong low now order the province below me in the long term. And especially with the program mine contributing so much to this province, this country. And good blouse and government come on board and I mean like me got this sustainable long-term strategy where me blah province put him and me must work him come up. One time this plan do me like talk somewhere long parliament too long leadership blow me government. What's in Pogoraya? I'm contribute 30 years finish, 30 years plus. Now we got 32, right? 32 years. This highway I start long Tokoba go long Pogoraya and bush track here. Some people same. You know, in a me to talk on this government circles play me. I think good look, I'm Kaya come up look Pogoraya. I'm I blame you, you know, blow lenga so. All people blow meeting was a mina walking work at wasting 30 years. Talk me walking stuff in Salon government. Now you may look him benefit blow Pogora on this country, so me asking my government long seriously. Put him some project below me or you may walk road stuff. All right, more important too, that's all. You must maintain him this revenue come to Pogora, so you may try him give him a priority. Now make sure some this highway from Tokoba to Pogora. Time Pogora finish. That's all by me all him stuff. People blowing up Bama stuff and abolition good road stuff. So me appeal on government, look on display. Now make sure some he can upgrade him display roads. At this point in time, tax credit after more than 1 year of operation in Pogora, you may not have access him. You got some kind of legal e-couple talk here. I think more better Prime Minister and you may have long government. You may hurry up him. So plenty now I'm planning up long highway between Wabeg and Pogora and Bagrabna. Close to old man Karim Karastab, yeah. So you may need long fix him. So Mr. Speaker, I'm Tasol to blah talk me. Thank you long giving me opportunity.
Honorable Leader of Government Business, Member Blanc.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, lo give him look save long special region long Bougainville, lo this la Friday,
long grievance debate. Honorable Speaker, grievance blomi this morning, emi long walkabout, long Bougainville peace agreement, the referendum result, and the responsibility of this House. Mr. Speaker, as this Honourable House approaches the eventual consideration of the Bougainville Peace Agreement referendum result, I respectfully submit that we must look beyond the legal text, the political positions, and the constitutional provisions alone. We must remember who we are, Mr. Speaker. This Parliament is not merely a chamber created by law. It is the modern expression of an ancient tradition of governance practiced across our islands, coastlines, mountains, and valleys for thousands of years. Long before constitutions were written, long before governments were formed, and long before colonial boundaries were drawn, our ancestors governed themselves through dialogue, consensus, respect, reciprocity, reconciliation, and collective responsibility. Mr. Speaker, these are not foreign values. These are Melanesian values. These are the values that sustained our civilization across the Blue Pacific for generations. Mr. Speaker, the Bougainville Peace Agreement itself was born from those same Melanesian principles. It was founded upon victory over one another. It was founded upon reconciliation. It was founded upon forgiveness. It was founded upon the recognition that lasting peace can only be achieved when dignity is afforded to all parties. Mr. Speaker, the peace agreement therefore represents more than a political settlement. It represents a sacred covenant between the people of Bougainville and the people of Papua New Guinea. A covenant forged in sacrifice. A covenant forged in sorrow. A covenant in the shared determination that future generations would never again experience the pain of conflict. Mr. Speaker, as leaders, we are entrusted with the future of our nation. We must now ask ourselves foundational questions. When that referendum result is brought in by our good Minister for Bougainville Affairs, we must ask ourselves, what does yes look like? And equally important, what does no look like? Because neither answer exists in isolation. Both answers carry responsibilities. Both answers carry consequences. Both answers must be understood through the spirit of our Melanesian identity as ancient people of the Blue Pacific. Mr. Speaker, if this Parliament ultimately says yes, then yes must not be understood as breaking apart of a family. In the Melanesian culture, family remains regardless of distance, status, or circumstances. A yes decision must therefore be understood as the transformation of a relationship, not the destruction of one. Yes must mean that Papua New Guinea and Bougainville continue forward as close neighbors, partners, and relatives, bound together by history, culture, faith, bloodlines, and mutual respect and interest. Yes means that the future generation inherit peace, certainty, and dignity. Yes must mean a carefully negotiated transition founded upon cooperation rather than confrontation. Yes must mean that while political structures may evolve, the Melanesian relationship between our peoples remains permanent. Mr. Speaker, likewise, if this Parliament ultimately says no, then no cannot simply mean rejection. No cannot simply mean dismissal. No cannot simply mean that the aspiration expressed by the people through the 97.7 have been heard but set aside. That would not be consistent with the Melanesian values, Mr. Speaker. A Melanesian no must carry responsibility. A Melanesian no must be accompanied by an alternative political pathway. A Melanesian no must offer a future that is greater, deeper, and more meaningful than the present arrangements. A Melanesian no must strengthen autonomy, dignity, self-governance, and partnership. A Melanesian no must answer honestly and respectfully the question that the future generation will ask one day. If not this path, then what pathway are we offering together as a family? Mr. Speaker, that is why the real issue before this Parliament is not whether one side wins or another side loses. The real issue whether we have the wisdom to preserve peace regardless of the decision we will make. The real issue is whether we honor the spirit of the Bougainville Peace Agreement. The real issue is whether we continue to build a future based on trust rather than uncertainty. Mr. Speaker, our ancestors taught us that when families face difficult questions, they do not abandon one another. They gather, they listen, they speak honestly, they seek consensus, and they leave future generations stronger than they found them. That must be the spirit that guides this Parliament. Whether the answer is yes or whether the answer is no, the responsibility of this House remains the same. To preserve peace, to protect dignity, to honor the commitments, to respect democratic expression, to safeguard constitutional integrity, and above all, to strengthen the enduring Melanesian relationship that binds Bougainville and Papua New Guinea as one family of the Blue Pacific. History will not remember merely the decisions this Parliament makes. History will remember the spirit in which that decision was made. May that spirit be guided by wisdom, may it be guided by reconciliation, may it be guided by courage, and may it be guided by the ancient values of our Melanesian civilization that have sustained our people for generations and will continue to guide us for generations yet to come. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honourable Member of Loabao.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the people of Abau, I wish to bring forward a couple of grievances specifically for Abau, and then two with regards to two big national issues that I see. On the Abau issues, the Connect PNG component of the highway, whilst a lot of attention was made towards the opening and the excitement, 4 months have gone by, maintenance is zero. And so the bush that has been cut, it will now take 15 hours from 6 Mile here in Moresby to Alotau. That's a long, long drive. And so I'm asking the Minister for Works, please, and his secretary, can you undertake a maintenance program on this highway? Like everything, we build new things, but we forget to maintain them in everything. So while the half of the Magi Highway was falling apart, we started to build another new part connecting us to Alotau. Now that part is also falling apart together with the rest of the old part that was falling apart. And so being a national highway, on behalf of the people of Abau, I request that the Minister for Works and his secretary undertake a maintenance program at least for the next 6 months. That must include the two big bridges that were washed away that have not been repaired. These two bridges were put up by our Cloudy Bay Logging Company, not by the Department of Works or Highway. And second time now, the two bridges, Daraba and Magore, have been washed away. So if you are going to Alotau from 6 Mile, you have to be paddled across from Magore side of the river and be picked up on the Margarita side. And so can the Minister for Works and his bridges director give priority attention to this highway? This is not about feeder roads. This is the national highway, which much pride, and Prime Minister, you yourself rode on it. So footprint below you and finish now, so we have to go and clean it up again. So that's my first grievance on behalf of the people of Abao. The second grievance on behalf of the people of Abao is this, the very good answer given by the Minister for Petroleum, and thank you, Minister for Petroleum, who's not here, but he gave a very, very comprehensive answer to the set of questions that I asked. One of the issues that I raised was for awareness, information, and education in preparing the people so that they are organized and ready, including what are the business opportunities that the local people should pick up and also help to build their capacity so that they participate. We understand that 4 years from now, if the drilling is positive, then 4 years from now, our country will start exporting oil from my side of the woods in Amazon Bay, in Abao. In view of my strong commitment for enormous benefits must be given first to the local people, I raised one issue that came to my notice yesterday, and I want the Minister for Petroleum to investigate and take note. And that is, despite agreements between Total and the local companies that have been formed, Total has appointed Argo Marine. Argo Marine is owned by Larry Endagali to handle all its vessel agency tasks, including pilotage, which is against the agreement between the landowners and Total. If this is true, this is the things that I would want to fight against. We don't want one part of the country taking over this type of businesses everywhere in the country. Energy. We already know this particular individual, I'm sorry I named it because it came to my notice, I withdraw the name, but that company is now moving into Abao now. While we have been prepared and we have organized a shipping arrangement to play the same with no other pilotage issues, but somehow, all go na kisim display walk. Minister, please, can you stop this? Because we Abao people will not allow that company to go there. We will go in the sea, buy our popos, canoes, and block it. That's my grievance. So please, can we be fair in these benefit arrangements so that we have to remove this monopoly of some local companies that are taking monopoly because of the advantage they have now under the political circumstances. That's my grievance debate, please.
We have a point of order. Honorable Prime Minister.
The very learned and senior member of parliament is making politics over every and any issue, and he should withdraw this over current political circumstances. What evidence does he have that that company concerned secured those contracts under political circumstances? Mr. Speaker, this parliament etiquette is far higher than personal politics. The senior knows there's the standing order, there should be no inferences, no naming people who are not here to defend themselves. Mr. Speaker, you have to allow members of parliament to conduct themselves with a high standard here, and we expect better from a senior man like him.
Point of order, is in order.
Thank you, Speaker. I actually withdrew the name of the individual, so suppose suppose our Prime Minister worry am yet now. And politics too is tough. So that's a grievance directly coming from the people that are there, that's going to be directly affected. And my debate is we don't want people who already are very well off coming over and taking over our businesses. The opportunities that we should be given. That's that argument that I want to debate on.
Finish. You know,
I still got 2 more points.
yeah, but I thought you said MP Nisa, you sit down, I am giving point of order. But
No, I'm putting point of order. I'll send the mission
all right,
now.
okay.
Or you want me to sit down again?
No.
Thank you, Speaker. The third issue is I want to come back to the national general election. National general election. The entire country is now ready to move into this valued democratic process called national elections in 2027. Being appointed the Deputy Chair of the Special Parliamentary Committee on the 2022 election assessment and the recommendations that I debated also the other day, 2 big issues. If you look at recommendation number 1, 2, and 3, and 5 of the 70 recommendations, the first one is on the Electoral Commission itself, its leadership, and its structure. The committee concluded that under the current structure and the past leadership, the 2022 elections were one of the worst ever held in the country. That has been recognized by the parliamentary committee as well as observers who came to observe our elections. And I want to thank the Prime Minister in his statement the other day with regards to the questions on the election matters. And that was his commitment to make sure that the next election must be free, safe, and fair. Free, fair, and safe. That's a commitment that the Prime Minister gave. And I also want to thank the Prime Minister for extending the acting appointment of the current acting electoral commissioner. In this view, it is wrong for the Electoral Commissioner Appointment Committee to make a decision to bring back people who have not performed at all, or in any NEC decisions. We cannot bring back departmental heads that never perform. It's a wrong decision, automatically a wrong decision when decisions are made like that. So in this grievance debate, I'm strongly recommending that the committee must not consider former electoral commissioners being reappointed when the appointment is made, because we are going to go through the same process. And I'm very happy that the Prime Minister already undertook to make sure that the process is concluded and the proper appointment will be done. And I strongly recommend that that appointment be done at the earliest, because we've got 6 months finished now, and the planning and our arrangements and procurement have to begin now. Otherwise, it will be too late in the piece. Because in the last report, the Commander for Defense Force showed us a picture of about 20 vehicles that were ordered, but they arrived after the election came, because the funds were released very late in the piece. And we don't want that same thing to happen again. So that is. And the second big issue was the security. One was the Electoral Commission rearrangement, and in that recommendation of the reform of the Electoral Commission, we strongly recommended that there should not be 1 electoral commissioner. There should be 5. 5 to make the decisions, special circumstance decisions. So not 1 is not good enough in this major event. We strongly recommended there should be 5 commissioners immediately appointed so that they take charge of the 2027 national general elections. And I strongly recommend that that recommendation be actioned by the executive government before the election takes place. The second biggest issue...
Honorable Member Bawem, time blue grievance finish.
Just mention this one. The second biggest issue was the security issue. Security issue was the big problem, and we do not want those who are responsible in the 2022 elections to take charge of the 2027 elections. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member Lumakam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ya mas trulo, you look savelo, Deputy Bloyuna, Member Blo Makam lo. We sampla grievances blongem lo, grievance debate. Sampla time Mr. sit down lo hapna, conduct him grievance debate na mi pilimosem mi mas sanablo flow na out him sampla bel levy blomi. Mr. Speaker, bel levy blomi, me like bring him lo this la grievance debate. Me like join him queue one time, Governor Blo Medeng. I'm no stop now, I'm Guara side finish. One time, Minister of Health, I'm too no stop, to play Guara side finish. But you blow member of Parliament stop na, Prime Minister sit down, all Minister sit down na, me bring him this la, legally. The levy blow, you me lo, work blow health. Today, health come up, one major issue through law, country today. Me sit down lo Parliament, lo siya na miare mo opposition, is an lo government. Na togol sem health system em bagarapol geta nogat marasin lo ausik olman silip lo corridor lo ausik nogat bed lo sleep ogada disla heavy staff nogat generator lo ranim all equipment lo ausik ol marasin sot na olman buy marasin lo table market olman narasait karim ol fake marasin kam na salim na Olman go buy him cheap marasin. Government come up in policy, lo Yumi come up him, give him free marasin long Olman. But today Olman go all health center na 8 post blue Yumi, all still buy marasin yet. You know I want marasin em free. So this la issue em come up big la true. But Yumi buy sanab lo side blow government side, opposition side, Yumi buy sanab sem governor. Honorable members of this house, you mean plenty time by asking plenty question go minister na talk. Minister, by you make him on him. Marasin him sort. Government got policy blow, help him na, kirab him nisla work blow, ausi ko nogat. And plenty time you say make him nisla talk lo parliament. But me sit down lo parliament, tetem blow me lo parliament now. Na miare mol budget you me work lo put him down na successive government na all successive ministers all hold him this la portfolio. Me look him them they are really trying their best to make health be one of our major something where you me by must improving because you me ogera man lo ya you me by sick but you me go through lo marasin yet but you me go ausik yet ogera man meri so ogera successive government you mean not toggle sem this la government ya em no been working good lausik mi stop na mi look him government work lo give him priority lausik government work lo give him plenty money go lausik plenty policy have been drafted now all minister we prime minister sa maki molia prime minister no say maki mol man nothing lo work lo minister all man got experience lo work lo ausik also we minister lo health also current minister now I'm stop. Minister me congratulate him you me look him lo WhatsApp group lo you me you see one special award minus awem lo what am up. Yeah, World Health Service give him one award lo minister lo you me lo well performing work where I make him. And I'm always being proud of what our minister is doing. Same as all previous ministers lo you me were all hold him this portfolio. Like Dr. Pukate Mustab Lohab, Musat Manim got big background long here. Dr. Lino is being a health minister before. Those people have a background of working in the hospital. Now they've got the know-how of improving. And I saw them working very hard, trying their best, and it long all successive prime ministers. They do their very best improving hospital. But why na governor blo mede income complain now lo? Every blo Marilon. Why na you blo oga the narabla governors too by complain too? Na even me blo member lo 1 district. Me bla too by still complain because district blo me bla. Asam bla ausik blo bla inoperate. Ausik blo me lo Makam, lo Mujing was already upgraded to level 4. Me partner one time Molan no said na all walk him. Ausikia na all machine all put him inside ausikia. Ai kai X-ray na all sample machine no got doengao ya stablo Mujing. Lo health center blo me. But it's not in operation for 5 years. No man go walk lo disla ausik. CEO blo, mi bla lo province go na open him na. Toki mi osem ba mi salim doktor na. Mi bla ba salim mo no ga one plus something kama. Na minister toko sem 100 million ol ksimia. Now what did they do? Minister aste mi bla debate lo floor lo parliament lo bilum wanem ya. This is all wanem lo akwit lo bilum program ya. Platform ya bilum platform. We all asking mi bla ba akwitim simple 10 million kina mi bla kisim lo di SIP. Na 100 million. PNG Moresby kisimia. Where do they acquit that money to? How did they acquit it? If that program is done for my simple 10 million kina, we only scrutinizing me longen. Why not this 100 million be on the same program? Talking more, reporting this money, all carry me go to one district, province, provincial hospital. What did they do about that money? They are getting big money. They are doing all kinds of administration work, having higher costs. Even some administration, not only in health, but other departments. If you see the secretaries, they're going around with CPOs. They've got bodyguards. And we ordinary members don't have CPOs behind us. But they have CPOs. They have higher costs. How many higher costs will run after them? They sleep in hotel. They're traveling. They're spending money. And here, you colleague members sitting here, tomorrow you will go to election and you will be the person responsible answering those 100 million. They will tell you, the governor, where is that 100 million? Why is people sleeping at the corridor? Why there is no medicine? They will tell us, every members of electorate, why is your hospital or why is your small health center at post, they don't have medicine? Why do they? We are going to be the person accountable for all this laziness done by those people getting the millions of money which successive government have funded through. Like I've said, I've been here and I cannot criticize any government before and government today. All government have funded health because health is being our priority for us and our people. And every government, every successive government have put much money into improving health. But why is today we still complaining? And like the minister have said, there's millions of kina already funded to our provincial health. But this provincial health, where do they put that money? Tell them to acquit that money, minister. Tell them to acquit the money. Tell them to give the reports. And maybe give to us all the reports that we might know how many money has been given. I am sorry that my governor for Medeng is embracing question, not knowing that there's been millions of money already sent to his hospital. And I might be not like Moresby. Now me 100 million is there. But what did they do about that 100 million? And this health improvement in province is still lack. Also, Honorable Mr. Speaker, that is my grievance debate. Me raise him law. Me one Governor Blomedeng staff na minister I'm talk na. I must thank every government, successive government, and every members of this parliament must not be seen carrying the blame that we are failing to improve those hospitals. We have failed to improve our health district. We have given simple 2 million kina to our DSIP, and we are carrying on that government institution or government function, which government in our block giving big money long and finish work him. Only no have come work him, and they blame us for our simple 2 million kina given to our DSIP, and we will be answerable to our people during the election time about that, and these people, they will still run luxury life with those money and nothing will be done. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Member Yalibu. Pangia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, by minute up sim long time, but just a short few remarks lo legally grievance below me. One ply issue also you may ask him lo question time lo this la 4.27%. Now I know you know a lot of politics was played around this this particular issue, but you may put him on the side now. You may try him lo address him this law all fixed now. How you may can resolve him this issue. First talk also. Me no got one play issue one time. Ownership na like law provincial government or landowners like see more shares inside law this project. Me no got one play issue law this. But law 2009, Mr. Speaker, time you may work in this big agreement, law benefit sharing agreement one time, or landowners na provincial government na. Or plan the line representing government, law Kokopo, law 2009. Now, beyond all government, you may come up now. You may try to address this issue, but you saw it, kind heavy, sim you may road. This la agreement, me la talk about same. No agreement, law government also. All Narbla party too, you sign him. Now, time you may sign him this la agreement time. You may saw a content blow agreement, yeah? Now, content blow agreement, you talk very clearly also, or Lennon and a provincial government, but buy him, or this sale from the state. Why not Somalia government working this decision? And some blah me blessed up one time Somalia government this time. And we were part of that decision, and we take full responsibility. And because this la says you may lo LNG, you may needing money lo, you may go borrowing money lo, buy this la say. State had to pay for it. You know one blah free gift blow free carry, and 2% also lo land on us. All not blah you may buy him. Now there's a time you may buy him, and Prime Minister may to stop, Sepuko stop, or plan the honorable minister may bless stop lo government blow Somare. Na may agree lo, you may mogojim says you may oil set you go lo Arab na, you may borrowing money na, you may pay him LNG says. This la LNG says here, how you may benefit the government, me like talk story na you may are. So time or land on a agree, all sour too also. That money pay him, some loan na buy him this law says. So all his hours he got value blow, all he must repay him government for the loan or sim na buy him this law say. So they agree on this price, I think, of US 240 million kina per share. So, Mr. Speaker, me like story also. This la money, you know, come lo one blah figure of money, imagine him na karmiga. I'm not that. Governor blow me yet lo this time blow Southern Ireland, send us an agiru. Sit down, I agree one time, government lo this time. So me agree lo this la. Time me come lo government lo 2014. Or people same month also stop in the cabinet. Only Somare wasn't there. Now people realize him also all Lennon run work lo pani money, provincial government work lo run pani money. They could not borrow enough money because one, they did not have the assets, na capacity. Lo borrow him this la tribe la big la money. So cabinet in its wisdom, people decided also people by discounting this la price. It come down legally. I think it was discounted to 150 million kina US dollars per share. So time you may work in this land, maybe Tintin law ask him, Kumul Petroleum law vendor financing. Use him some revenue election, but there's a time law dividend, na tax, na planting or royalty. Law vendor financing, buy him sales blow. Time law pay him this sales blow or land on the provincial government, but buy him land. So again, look also plan the agencies law government decide. Usai me task him to implement him all this decision. You know, carry him out. Now you missed out this level where now 2026 come up. Now Prime Minister and government plan, he decided also but give him this share. He go all lend on us because you may buy more the loan blow LNG penis. I'm good, but you must announce him clearly. We are free gifting this share. He go lend on a provincial government. You know, can tanem toki ko kamlo, Paul and Boltintin Blolman are playing politics. Suppose that's like me benefit masigolo lenonas, well, let us transfer it properly. Give him all where now you saw plan the lenonas, he working good blow business, only arrange him good management skills blow, only set him a good blow organization. Now only working accountable way of doing their own transactions, only appoint him all director blow, good blow way. All this man. Only ready to manage all affairs blow. Now we know the inefficiencies, Losambla Olani manageable landowners in interest too. But all now landowners like managing all something blow Governor Agirui took clear Kokopo. I remember very well. I'm not like me blow politician work logona managing all or something. And you must learn all Pablo money yet, the Pablo ground, the Pablo all natural resources, managing blow yet. Suppose you make him free gift, please. Let him all go. Now, government or some low side blow leadership low level, low province blow me yet want them. Prime Minister na honorable. Me like a serious conflict of interest. I'm line blow you me. I'm landowner blow you me. We can't sit in government and make decisions that are only going to benefit one side. We have to think about the entire country. So some of the time, you may let them la responsibility go man. Petroleum Minister staff, Finance Minister staff, Treasury staff. This kind of decisions can be seen as we are making it transparent, accountable, fair to the nation. So me urging Prime Minister, suppose I'm like working this special vehicle pepper shake yet. You must rush me yet. A lot of the five provincial government want the more landowners managing law yet. And you mean to talk about benefit close to hundreds of billions of kina coming through. Landowners 2% free carry pennies, now they got another 4.27%. So 6.27% is, in my understanding, is a big money. The rest of the country, we're only going to get about 10% or less than 10%. I think you're supposed to be calculating. So even the country is making a sacrifice for this. Huge sacrifice. And there's like money, you can use them like plenty or something, and you storyline now, yeah? So you may not can play politics too much, you may work right way, and a decision come up the right way, you may work that and you can move forward. Also me talk with this, me no got one cross one them, you may law government or outside man law, or landowners and provincial governments can benefit. They must benefit, they must fully participate in the management of this. M1. Quickly, law issue blow elections. Me, I'm a muscle some government, like him free and fair elections too. Since 1964, you may, I think, self-government igam now, you may conduct him close to some 10 or 11 or 12 elections now. Now, it is proven that we are incapable of delivering a fair, free elections to our nation. It's proven. And, no blame can go to any government, no blame can go to any one person. And you may ogata, behavior and a person blame him, you may clearly put him just like I and all issue, you may manage him good. So now, as Prime Minister Moglo Totoglo, and you may now Tanem Nupla page for 50 years, the country deserves a break. I think you must carry on man law. I try to come into the management elections, believe me. Me, I'm a Totoglo Governor Blow Enga. When he said, I have an Australian PPC and he's starting to make a difference. Why am I requesting this land? I mean, the government at the time approve him request plan because they were asking for immunity. And we could not give immunity to Australians and not to our own policemen and women. That was the contention. But I think government is now resolving some blah blah this issue in a working plan. And good play example straight. You must look, how only can come now you may. Run him this elections properly. You may change him returning officer closer. Put him all box equal side. This layer, suppose you may working work blue, you may give good empower right that's all. It creates mistrust, perceptions of corruption. Time you may come to this house here. Okay, the mountain was you may win still not come inside of this house. We want to be elected properly. We shouldn't fear about losing. We are still young and strong. You can do other things in life. This is not the only job in this world. Let us do it properly and let us do it for our nation. It's demanding us to change. Let's put our country before ourselves. So, sambil tutup Prime Minister welcome land me amamas. People support him. But follow through. Nogan truma totok na, laram totok sanap natin, action blow me go lan arbla way. Me play sanap lo sa side, lo support him this law. So thank you through Mr. Speaker, lo give me legally time, lo work him legally grievance blow me. Thank you.
Honorable Governor Blong Northern.
Thank you to Speaker. Lo give opportunity lo me lo raise all some issues. We got some issues which me too like contribute. Number one, lo grievance debate itself. I think we've been raising it before. It's all grievance debate plus a talk na plenty of good ideas come lo here na all months I express him. What happens to these debates? I'm just curious. So, Mr. Speaker, suppose you got one plus system where you can record, even though Lohensa Tasol, but you got one plus system where this grievance debates can be converted into actionable directives or items or suggestions that can go to the relevant ministers and by good law. Some of the ministers do take note, I must acknowledge, and they act upon the issues raised. But I'm just suggesting that this could improve our efforts in ensuring that the ideas that are brought here, the great ideas and thoughts that are brought here by leaders, should be converted into outcomes. It's one legal suggestion law, you mean law, parliament law here. The grievance debate blow me and Mika Tripla. One plan me like talk law, it's a situation where Governor Bloenga and Racing law, where I'm got one plan, I'm looking at some performance, law PPC Bloen now. It contributes significantly, law and order, law province plan. So if this is the case, then how can other provinces also follow suit? How can other provinces also ensure that this can happen? That we too can get, say, foreign assistance? And does that foreign assistance also come with the resources needed so that the PPCs can also carry out those activities that are needed to be able to manage law and order in their provinces? And one issue which me feel also me need lo regime lo here. Me sabe also me got tupla or tripla natla province two only work like simol PPC from what is known as the Commonwealth government in Australia. Well, how about doing the same for all provinces? I think this would indicate that all people in Papua New Guinea are equal and deserve such attention. So that it should not only be restricted to one or two or three provinces. If something good is working and you trial it as a pilot project and it looks like it's working well, then it makes sense that we should roll it out. And it should happen. Australia itself did this. It undertook an effort to bring in police commissioners from the UK during the 80s as a result of an inquiry into organized crime that had infiltrated federal police commands in Australia. And to address that, what they did was they brought in police commissioners from the UK over a period of time, perhaps 10 or 20 years. And they rebuilt their commands to get them up to a stage where it was acceptable to the people and other stakeholders that law and order was being effectively managed. So Australia, a developed nation, did undertake that effort. So we can do the same. And if it's working well in Enga, then let's see if it should work well in other provinces. But not only bring in PPCs from Australia, but also ensure that the resources that they need to be able to manage law and order are also granted, such as, for example, giving block grants, et cetera, et cetera. Because law and order now is the fundamental problem confronting us as a nation. Everything else that we would like to do, all the economic development that we are talking about and dreaming of, this will all be impeded significantly if we do not make the effort to address law and order. So what I'm saying here is to, with what Governor Ipatas is doing and what he has reported on, and other provinces are fortunate to also have, all people in Papua New Guinea are equal, and they all deserve similar services, similar attention. So why not make a decision and say, this is working, let's roll it out throughout the whole country, bring PPCs for every province. And while that's happening, we overhaul our police force. Our police force needs assistance, significant assistance. For example, and this will lead to my next grievance debate subject, which is the subject of transnational crimes. A major problem, not just in Papua New Guinea, but in the region. In fact, just recently, I think in Vietnam, 2 Pacific Islanders were apprehended for carrying out a hit, we'll call it that, in Vietnam as a result of a gang war that's taking place in Sydney, in Australia, involving Pacific Islanders. Pacific Islanders. You'd be surprised that we are now right out there in the world known as getting involved in these activities, these transnational criminal activities. But they're happening right in our back door. All you have to do is look at the news and you see what's happening in Fiji and Samoa and Tonga with drugs coming into our region, and growth of transnational criminal organizations and entities throughout the Pacific. How are we countering that in Papua New Guinea? They're already here. The intelligence assessments that were propagated some 20 years ago warning about this situation, well, that's happened. Those transnational criminal organizations are now here, well established, well entrenched. Papua New Guinea is not just a transit point for drugs, by the way, in case you're wondering. It's now a manufacturing hub. This may come as a surprise to you, but it is. And much of these funds are now being channeled into legitimate businesses. Legitimate businesses. And that is why we are on the radar of the international organizations, and that is why, one of the reasons why we're on the grey list. Because that's happening. Transnational criminal funds, the proceeds of of these criminal activities are now being funneled and channeled into legitimate businesses, investments, hotels and casinos and things like this. How are we going to counter this? I know that the transnational crimes investigations capacity of the police is not what it once used to be. So we need to address that. And I understand that the good minister is making a significant effort, but he needs the support of all of us, especially government, to put more funds into overhauling the police force and ensuring that we do have this capacity so that we can address these growing transnational crimes that are wreaking havoc in our country, in our economy. The transnational crimes are the most destructive crimes ever. And if you talk about a crime that affects a particular area, community, a district, etc., violent crimes perhaps, armed robberies, etc., but they affect only that particular area. Transnational crimes are crimes which affect our entire nation and our future. We've forgotten about the grey list, but what happens when we're on the blacklist? Because we haven't taken action about such things. That's something that we should be cognizant of. The other issue that I wanted to raise or talk about was, I think, addressed already by Governor for East Sepik, and that's about the impending El Nino that's turning out to be possibly the worst in human history. That's what scientists are saying. So how are we preparing for that? How are our people going to be ready for that? They're already facing the impact of climate change and global warming. They're already talking about how the seasons are changing in such a way that they are starting to get confused as to when they would plant their crops and harvest them, etc. It's happening. Rising sea levels, coastal shores being washed away, islands and islets being affected, becoming salinated so they cannot plant crops anymore. And now we have this warning. How are we going to prepare for this? I would recommend that the government put significant effort and attention into preparing all provinces so that all provinces can build disaster management centers. We are doing that in our province. We've allocated funds and we are building a provincial disaster management center, but I want to encourage our government, we will need help. We will need help to prepare for what's going to be happening in the not too distant future. How are we going to address this concern? I would suggest that we look at our partners in the region, especially Australia. They have much experience in handling natural disasters, and they have such situations frequently, so they know how to address, how to respond, how to prepare, and we should prepare adequately, accordingly. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. That is my grievance debate. Finally, before I sit down, it's in regards to a debate that, a discussion that was presented here by the Honourable Joe Lelang in regards to the Bilum project. And I will once more take note of the debate by our good Minister for Public Service, Mr. Joe Sungi. Minister, as I said earlier, this project needs to be rolled out. If we trial something and it seems to be working, then don't just restrict it to one district or one province. Roll it out throughout the entire country. So in this instance, with this Bilum project, can you make it mandatory that all provincial administrators, this becomes a part of their KPIs, that they adopt this Bilum system? So all provinces, all districts must have these reporting systems in place. The good Minister for Mining raised a very good point. The process of acquittals is very cumbersome and very costly. You have to pay for the public servants to come on the ground, to be accommodated, to compile all these reports, and then travel back to Port Moresby. It's a very lengthy, costly process, which could all be resolved quite easily if we just had this system in place in all districts and all provinces. So rather than inviting districts and provinces to make the effort to come and see if they can be part of this, make it mandatory. All the administrations should have this system in place. And then let them reach out to the districts, and the districts can then put these systems in place as well. And they be forced to write quarterly reports and present those quarterly reports in time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate
timely finish.
Efforts.
Honourable Member of North Bougainville.
Thank you, Thomas. Whole morning, Miss Anna, but thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. You plus have 1 plus all staff, 2 plus all staff, but thank you, Mr. Speaker. 3 plus staff, 2 plus staff. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you for giving me time. Let me mark him all. Mama blo Bougainville, na Papua New Guinea too, na North Bougainville. Me thank you past time. Long this good government, Minister, Prime Minister, Marape, Deputy Blongem. Thank you again. Long halivim you give him the Bougainville. Long time, long this is strong pla win, Myla. Good pla halivim. Me pla walk lo tilima really kai the time because lo how the situation belong. Me play Bougainville, not Bougainville especially, because me look out in border, Blow Solomon Islands, me look out in border, go to New Island, come down to Millen Bay. So again, I'm a big electorate when me mark him long the biggest electorate, open electorate, long whole country, Papua New Guinea. Thank you to Master League Halivim, you were able to give, long this time, me harim planted talk, long this El Nino, it would be the second largest compared to the one that had been come up long 1870. Where planti blo imino stop lo time but save man he work lo talk now we compare him this la here big play heavy by come up compared to the one that came out in 1870. So me harim governor blo isipik to talk planti long him too. Me like tromo really talk on top long all talk him governor blo me working Penis regional member working Penis long this la walk about long Bougainville. Like I always say, let's not shy away from this. Let's take a vote. Whether you by voting yes long, supporting me, na people below me, or you vote him no, regional member below me, regional member below me, I'm talking Pinisatelo morning. Me like encourage him, you me the soul is la parliament. When the report is tabled next week, Tuesday, by Chairman of the Committee of Bougainville, me like him, you me him good this a talk. Him want them open mind, let's be open mind about it. Listen to what the chairman is going to table next week, Tuesday, and hopefully time you may take him this report next week you may him long him. Him want them open heart, open him heart blow you, open him mind blow you, and let's listen to what the report is going to table next week. But you may report you may him long him. Temperature member blow me and talk all same. If we are going to vote a yes, but you vote him yes blow one something. But you vote him yes, long good press him down, long behind time. Long tupla, Bougainville and Papua New Guinea. Time you vote him no blow you by bring him one good pla, by bring him one challenge come inside. Long me yet, me save talk lo this la. It's an issue that me like him all get elected members, long this la parliament, long Papua New Guinea parliament, long you me it must take him vote, an honest vote. An honest vote. If you vote no, long this is the time. Long want him something true, but you vote no as an elected member. Suppose you vote yes. Where me play Bougainville like him, but me play look him vote yes. And long want him, why but you vote yes? Long you heard him story, you look him heavy, me play pili me coming up now. Vote blow you lo yes, and by God big play half him. Long sit down him good, this relationship na may long Papua New Guinea and Bougainville. Suppose you vote no too. Vote no blow you by meaning one and something. So long time me sanap lo here, me like him. You me all get sit down lo here. The parliament that made a decision long how much Christmas ago in 1989, you sabe, me no can repeat him story. You know what happened on Bougainville. Suppose you know clear good, find time to understand what happened in Bougainville. Find time to come up with the figures of what atrocities were committed on Bougainville. Find time this weekend. Long you go stop one party blow you. Now you scale him which direction, which way are you going to vote? But you vote no or but you vote yes. Suppose you vote yes. And me no meaning what somebody you losing thing lo me. And begin near. You had a responsibility, you will continue to have a responsibility, lo make him sure that Bougainville and me work about good. There is no way but you cut him one umbilical cord you got long Bougainville. We have a responsibility. This parliament, this nation has a responsibility. Lo make him good Bougainville. Lo make him good Bougainville. Me repeat him, lo make him good Bougainville. You vote no, no blow you, and by meaning on him. Suppose you vote no. Na planti go lo site lo no. But you bla brusi me na go lo no. No blow you by meaning on him. So lo me yet, me sanap lo here, me like talk again. Have him time to pray about it this weekend. Have him time to meet with Bougainvilleans that will be your friends and your families. Listen to their stories. Make him time to sit amongst yourselves and seriously think about which way by you vote. Like me play talk long time you me mo kokisi go bung long last parliament session. And I said, let's take a vote. Which way the vote is going to come out in Salisla chamber, take a vote. You may not wait. Let's make a decision. I would love to see this parliament, this government. You go down the history that it was a parliament that had the strength, that had the decision, that made a decision to be able to bring to the floor of parliament this 98.7 vote from people of Bougainville. No can let him not parliament come and vote him. We are able to make that decision as the 11th parliament. And we can make that decision. And we will make the decision come next week. Take that vote. You can pour it. Take that vote. So PNG can know, so Bougainville can know as well. Take that vote. Again, me talk thank you that, Mr. Speaker, you're giving me time. Look, I'm talk. I believe every time I stand up, all by talk, and by talk again, lo this la walk. Now, me talk, lo one is something again. Now, me come talk, lo this la walk about independence, yeah? Now, you less lo harim lo one, because this is the parliament that made that choice. This is the parliament that had been talk, no got to what the people of Bougainville wanted. And we have learned from Bougainville in terms of making sure that the resources, all resources go back to people. Whatever you come out in when I'm ground, you make sure that the landowner benefits. If you were to take a little trip down to Bougainville and go up to Panguna, but you show me one good plus something, and this mine has been building for my people in the 25 years that have been operating, Mr. Speaker. Now I'm a grandmother. I am still traveling, Mr. Speaker. I am still traveling on the roads that I used to travel on as a child. I'm still traveling on the roads unsealed. You got lick hab silly stuff. How you losing thing, me? How could that mine not seal all the roads in Bougainville? How could that mine not be able to put something good for me and my people? A college. Something good for my youth. This parliament, it's learning from what you declared in 1989. You learn him lesson long now, yeah? But I had to lose 25,000 plus lives for this nation to learn. Yes, that's what happened. All brothers Parliament. Yes, PNG, this is what happened. I had to lose 25,000 plus lives for us to be able to make those tough decisions and make sure that our people benefit from what resources it come up inside Longiran Blungam. Me yet people blow me yet, no go one plus something, you run long highway, stony stop yet. Now time me talk lo bridge crossing Buka passes, everybody thought, what a stupid woman to be raising that stupid question. It is a question that by me behind him yet. Give to Bougainville something and we can talk. At least someone cares. At least if you voted yes when it came, supposed to come to Parliament, and by so me, at least someone cares. Vote for me. Now you walk about one time me. Long you me send down good people below me. Now send down good this la passing papa mama, passing family inside. Na namer long PNG na Bougainville. Me no come to cross me talk. Barely see by start one thing you me this weekend. And I pray that all of us take a bit of time and do some soul searching as to how you and your people are going to vote come Tuesday, or come Wednesday, or come Thursday next week. Me ask him again before me sit down. Me like him barely see blow you, honesty blow you, love blow you, your compassion when you listen to that report next week to be tabled by my chairman, Honorable Marat. Vote blow you, yes or no? And people belong Bougainville by Isave Longem. People of PNG too, all by Isave Longem. How you vote him? Like blow Shusa blow you, like blow Papa blow you, like blow Mama blow you, na family blow you inside of Bougainville. You na blow tokol sem you know salo Bougainville. Everybody sitting here, every honorable parliamentarian sitting here, you are related to Bougainville one way or the other. One way or the other. Now, time you giving me, I thought, okay, Mama, you go. Now you go run him really gaman blow you. You are not going to cut that link off. We are not going to cut that link off. You are giving me an opportunity to be able, to me, to lose 25,000 plus lives in that war, not a civil unrest. It was a war. And that was the only war after the Second World War.
Member.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
One 10 minutes, I'm finished now.
We are not you know, give more 10 minutes, you give more than 10 minutes.
No, one
Mr. Speaker, thank you.
But you look him kilo, come no friend.
Thank you, you read him kilo. Emi abrush him time, but
me
san aplo morning, you know, giving me time, but thank you, give me time. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Governor Blong. Plan the governor is up, plan the jubilation up. But me ask him, Governor Blong is liberated, yes.
Right, thank you. Thank you, Speaker Long. Look, Sawe Long. Iblato line long is liberated. Thank you. You got talk on master so long. Lo me long. We me like talk thank you. Lo makimo line blo mi bla province. Lo recent disaster mi bla bina go through long and mi like walking really talk Dr. Sol. Pass them through me like. Okay, people talk, thank you. I today acknowledge and sincerely thank the national government, development partners, disciplinary forces, and the wider corporate community during the recent disaster, tropical cyclone Maila, which is in Misawa Penisi province of Mipla. On behalf of the province, the people of East Nibidan, I extend heartfelt appreciation to the national government through the National Disaster Office. Honorable Dr. Billy been in contact on the Mipla place. The PNG Defense Force, police, Mipla, health workers, emergency responders, and all frontline personnel who stood beside our people during the most difficult period in our province's history. I wish to acknowledge the support from the international partners, including governments of Australia, New Zealand, United States of America, European Union, together with the churches, NGOs, and members of the corporate community who provided timely assistance to our people. Sadly, East Nibidan, this time been losing 12 lives as a result of the disaster. One from Rabaul, one blah blah Kokopo, 10 blah blah inland mining, Logesel district where one blah, and bin one blah Mamak, and min okarim piginet na go down Logadan, and la palanin pinat na groundy karamab mem come back and Laos. So we will pass him, people talk sorry lodisla, or land will lose him life. The experience has also highlighted the importance of strengthening our disaster preparedness, response coordination, early warning systems in climate resilience measures, not only in East New Zealand, but all throughout the country, as now Imiarim with the El Nino by Imifesim in the recent next few months. There are many lessons to learn from Cyclone Maila as related disaster become more frequent, severe, and we must continue to invest in preparedness, strengthen coordination between all levels of governments to ensure communities are better equipped for future emergencies. Once again, we like talk thank you to Prime Minister, our line inside the National Executive Council, long talk all right, long we like some sample assistance. He come down as now we go through the recovery phase. Also, Mr. Speaker, please allow me to also acknowledge him. One important milestone for the province is Nibidan. This Sunday, 31st of May, province Nibla celebrating 49th anniversary of provincial government, meaning we were the first province in 31st of May 1977 for national government granting me provincial government status. So I like talk thank you Ladisla. And I also talk thank you long the former leaders long province, the LLG presidents or board members, over the line, the public servants, and people place make sure people work inside the provincial government for the last 49 years. So we talk thank you for support. I come along national government, and again through our discussions through governors forums, or other conventions we've been having, discussions about the autonomy. We talk thank you too long. The 14 functions that have been already transferred the come back to provinces. So big look province through autonomy, as well as the other 2 or 3 provinces been mentioned in the past. So I think one time this me like talk on behalf again long the people of East New Zealand. Me like talk big talk thank you law country long assistance like come law or people blah point. Thank you.
Honorable Member of Law. Oh, I'm still Minister Defense. Yeah. You. Minister, you stand up. Here he looks away.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Me, Aramogara Totok, especially lo disaster, lo cyclone Maila, na El Nino me like come close to. Na me talk thank you lo you look away because government lo me make him some work penis. Na me need lo also give him some report lo this plan what we are doing in preparation for this El Nino that is coming as well. But firstly, me like talk thank you long our leaders, Blol Fipla, 7 province affected by Cyclone Maila. We work very closely together with the national government and the provincial government and our leaders to attend to the effects of that cyclone. Myself and the Prime Minister, Mibla bin Golong, Milne Bay Province, thank you to the Governor for Milne Bay and the leaders there. Miblago, Misima, Budibudi, Alatau, Golong Russell Islands, Good Enough, Na mi looking effects blo this disaster and very serious and very severe. I would like to also pass sincere condolences to those people who has lost their lives in this disaster. And as a province, Milugimal province, disaster response and preparedness is very important at the provincial level. Now, Milugimal Millen Bay, the way you respond was very effective because they have a very good provincial structure. And I want to commend all the provincial governments who said go past na alpim yumi, East New Britain, Governor, thank you long you, West New Britain, New Ireland, the Autonomous Region of Bougainville, Oro, Moresby, Namanus, and national government, he completely retiring this 35 million. Kamla Yumi long address him, effects blow Cyclone Myla, me ask him Yumi to make sure that this money may come. All governors must work on them all. DDAs now, all LLGs to make sure that this effect or how you may attend to these effects of climate change. Now disaster must go, money must go to this work straight. Plenty time, maybe I give money nothing, now maybe I no follow through. Now some of the time, you got a bruise, money say come up. So because of climate change, the effects belonging to make him now, the disasters that are coming are happening frequently, more sustained, and also happening simultaneously, and they're very severe. You mean abrasive cyclone Myla, and now you mean talk long El Nino and Bakam. So please, me appeal you me got the national government at the disaster office. We're working very closely with our bilateral partners, NGOs and UN agencies to make sure that we get all the support that we can and we push it down to you, the provincial governments. That is how our law has been set up so that at the district and the local level and provincial level, the first responders are the provinces and the districts. When there is a natural disaster, the provincial administrator becomes the chairperson of the disaster committee. And so please, me talk to you on Governor Bloro too, that he is already set up. He's talked to me about it, and me set him up a provincial disaster management committee belonging. They're building an office there as well. So that is the kind of level of preparedness that all the provincial governments, law country, by many law making moving forward. We have to prepare, because if we prepare, then by me respond properly when there is a disaster. No province in this country is spared. Miplalo Highlands, people say things, and people are not looking disaster. But tribal earthquake been come up law 98, 2008, 19, 2019. Beg your pardon. Long Southern Highlands, hela gosem na people looking plan the big heavy me come up. You may looking landslide, he come up mulitaka. So that goes to show that all the districts, all the provincial governments, you may need to put him some money aside long disaster too. You may not going to wait long national government as well. So in our preparedness for disasters, not just the ones that we are facing now, but because of the effects of climate change, we expect more disasters to come. And therefore, me asking you, all provincial governments, DDAs, LLGs, we have to work together with the National Disaster Office and the national government to set up our disaster preparedness and response capability. As I speak, the NEC or government has recognized the need to ramp up our effort to prepare and respond to disasters. And as such, NEC may approving this National Emergency Management Authority to be set up. So Governor Oroy Mitokpinis, we are now moving towards what Australia, New Zealand, and the US have. Australia and New Zealand have the National Emergency Management Authorities. The US have what they call the Federal Emergency Management Authority. So we're working very closely, especially with Australia and New Zealand, to set up our version of the NEMA. And the bill is ready, committee has been set up, NEMA bill is ready, and the policy that goes with the bill is also ready for tabling on this floor. So that is some progress that we have made in this space. With regards to the El Nino or Super El Nino that is predicted, I can confirm that we're getting from the scientists in the USA. They call it the U.S. National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, and our own National Weather Service are telling us that there will be a potentially unprecedented El Nino that is developing in the Pacific Ocean with 82% certainty. The last time we had El Ninos, a Super El Nino was in around 1870, almost more than 100 years ago. And we had El Ninos in 84, 83, 84, 97, 98, 2015, 2016, and now we expected to have a very serious Super El Nino. And this phenomenon will definitely threaten and disrupt global weather patterns, and it will push the temperatures very high. So El Nino refers to a sustained period of warmer than average sea surface temperatures across the central and eastern Pacific. It requires the surface temperature of the ocean to go above 0.5 degrees Celsius, and the normal range of the sea surface temperature is between 21 to 27 degrees Celsius. So scientists are predicting that it will go above 2 to 3 degrees Celsius, and that is why they are predicting that we will potentially have a Super El Nino with an 82% predictability. This will happen somewhere around June and July. It will peak November, December this year, and going towards January, February, and March of 2027. It's with a predictability of 86%, so it is most likely to happen. So what are the consequences of a Super El Nino? It causes catastrophic global weather extremes, including severe droughts, intense heat waves and wildfires, tropical storms and flooding that inflicts trillions of dollars in economic damages across the world, and PNG will not be spared. So in summary, El Nino is likely to emerge soon and will continue through to 2026-27 with a 96% predictability. What is the effect that is likely to have on our government and the economy? This Super El Nino is likely to cause macroeconomic shocks. Inflation and food security will be an issue. Droughts in agricultural powerhouses, especially in Australia, Southeast Asia, and the sub-Saharan Africa, will depress crop yields and push global food prices. As we have seen in the Ukraine-Russia war, PNG will not be spared from this. Energy and power grid crisis, scorching temperature spikes, electricity demand for cooling, and as we have seen, the Sierra Leone dams, when the water level falls, it affects our electricity. Supply chain disruptions, extreme weather events delay shipping routes, ruin infrastructure, and can run down crucial industrial operations like mining. Our Octari mine depends on the Fly River, and we're talking about the Papua LNG. They're also depending on the Purari River as well as a form of transport. And so those operations will also be affected. So what are we doing here as a government and by the National Disaster Center? Per our standard operation procedure, Mr. Speaker, we have activated the Early Action Protocol, and officers from the National Disaster Center have...
Honorable Minister, MCA interrupting you now. Good plan, no good, you must prepare one last statement, ni pass through the Slana. You can present in the Parliament next sitting. I mean, the Parliament, but me interrupting you now, say interrupting you, time finish. time to standing order it all same too. So now, by me propose him that the grievance be noted. Those in favor say aye. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I ask leave of Parliament to move a motion without notice.
Is leave granted? Leave granted. Minister, Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the leave of absence be granted to A, Mr. Lucas Dekena, Minister for Education, B, Mr. Theo Pelgan, Member for Nawai Open Electorate, and C, Mr. Akime Gurushau, Member for Daulo Open Electorate, for the decorum of this meeting due to ill health.
The question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Leader of Government Business.
Mr. Speaker, I move that Parliament do now adjourn until Tuesday, 2nd of June, 2026 at 10 o'clock a.m.
Question is that the motion be agreed to. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Honourable members, before me adjourning Parliament, me like talk sabe lo imi lo om le lig talk sabe ta song. Talk sabe me all same. Me believe you me all the member no like looking all same. Parliament precinct o area blo Parliament ing mapol sa street lo boroko laga. Boroko pot mos be me all same time ito all same em boy pulap lo desla. Mi kam na me looking plandi o sambla lo imi member iwo lo kai boy inside lo precinct lo Parliament. Na time you may make him plan the old driver, now support staff will come to, only walk him to. Now me just like reminding you also section 108 of the Constitution, when you block oxim na kandim. Subsection 1 em block speaker am responsible. Look keep him president of Parliament. Look out him controlling president of Parliament. By another act of the Parliament, also section 15 and 16 of Parliamentary Powers, the Privileges Committee Act. Speaker got this la power. Can directly musatman remove mem lo president lo Parliament usad in a member of Parliament. Now you don't have shame go court. Lo display. So now me walking to say talk sabe, but me walking again talk sabe lo 2 day can time you may come. Parliament come sit down, same. But me ask him, or say me all to the member, he may respect him this fly stop. Now all of South to blow Parliament, kuskus one more line blow into plenty time, me sabe, make him document paper some lapidis. Loli keke buena smoke lo Parliament. But time you me leader walk him, I'm all two look him, now like make him because you me leader make him ah. So one them this fly. Parliament now is adjourned. Equal at 10 o'clock morning long Tuesday next week.